Morning, team. Morning. Can you hear me? Hopefully no mic problems this morning. Lots to get through today. Lots to get through. Just wait for a few more to hop in this stream, and then we're going to go through everything as we continue to have the decline. All right, mainly off the tariffs. Okay, today is the first day that the tariffs are in effect. So tariffs versus China, and Mexico and Canada. So we're getting a response to that. Uncertainty in the market equals fear. Fear equals selling off. But we're overextended and we're watching some key levels. So just waiting for a few more to hop in here, and then we're going to start the stream and go through the daily charts like we always do to start the day. As a reminder that those of you who are trading prop firms, Tradeify has a sale on right now, 30% off all 25K, 100K and 150K, and 30% off the 25, 100 and 150K, and 35% off the 50K account. That's for any account. So never a better time to start trading with Tradeify right now. So if you're interested, use code FZT. It will get you the best possible price. Okay, enough of you in here now. Let's jump into the stream. So daily chart, what do we have? Lower bowl. All right, sat right at the lower bowl band. And we're also watching these levels here. We've just swept these. The next lows would be right down here in October. Now, one thing I want to say before I move any further, I am watching the SPY today. And the reason I'm watching that is just the slight divergence. I am watching the current yearly low, which is right down here. I have a price alert set here right now. All right, so if we go and take that out and stay heavy, that would mean every single player in this market who has been buying this market this year, right? So 2 months of buyers will be underwater, right? And from this point, the next pivot down, we all the way down here, that would take us down to October. We're basically already down here on the NQ, but most people, most market participants are playing the SPY, the SPX, and the ES. So it is a level I'm watching right down here. You can see we're just hovering on that daily bowl on the SPY. So that's something I have one eye on. The other thing I'm looking at is the previous week low and PDL, right? So I said to my team before I walked the dog today, watch a recovery through PDL. If we reclaim PDL, that's a short squeeze trigger. If we take out this Friday low, all right, Friday's low is previous week low. If we recover over that and have acceptance, there is a squeeze possibility for a trade upside. Now that trade upside will just be into a high time frame level where we expect sellers to come back in, sell us down towards the current lows, and if we break structure, we keep going lower. All right, so these plays here might not all happen today. These might take a few days to play out if they happen at all. So I'm just showing you possibilities, but I'd be looking for a new higher low to be set. That's what we had yesterday. One here, big expansive move, drip down underneath. If we recover, reprice in, expect sellers to come back in to take us lower. If we recover this, we go back for mean reversion, but really not thinking about a trade like that right now. No reason to be thinking about big upside moves in this market right now, right? Anything upside right now is just that counter trend play. Dialing into the hourly, and you can see what I was talking about. All right, so we have this excess low that we put on yesterday, this long wick. All right, remember yesterday in just before close, big flush moment and then recovery. Short started to sell or to cover, sorry, to buy back the market. We drift upside, and in the pre-market today, we rolled back over, taking out that low. So if we recover this, we're looking at this imbalance here, and we can trade all the way back up into here. That will be, this red mark is previous week low. So how we operate, I'd say around 20,500 is key. Do we get acceptance above and over for this kind of move here, which will allow a trade all the way back into this block here? All right, drop, base drop, recovery, trade back into here. That can still be a higher time frame, lower high to sell. So I'm looking for big triggers here this morning. So I'm watching previous day low. I'm watching sort of 20,460, 20,500. What's the top of this? And 20,600. Those are big levels for me today. If we do a morning drive, okay, if we do a morning drive and we sell straight away in here, obviously I'm looking to take out overnight low, Globex low. If we do that, then we're thinking about those daily levels we just talked about. How far can we drift down? All right, are we going to come back down into this old block that we had from early November, so possibly a drift into 20,000 flats. Not that far away, 20,000 right now, all right? It's 300 points away. We can do that in 2 or 3 minutes in this market if it really wants to, all right? So remember, the main trend, if we zoom out, the main trend remains downside. You can see this is a huge downside trend, right? The main trend remains downside. So anything upside is just a counter trend move to be sold into to have a continuation lower. That will not change, right, until we start on an hourly, until we start reclaiming some of these levels up here. That is a long, long way away, 1,000+ points away until we do that. So every drive higher, I'm expecting to find sellers. Remember, first day in the market where we have major fear from the tariffs actually being live. All right, so let's talk about them. Actually, reality today will start to set in. All right, so we might be in max fear in this market. There's no news scheduled today. I do believe Trump has a talk at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it's also possible today that we just sort of consolidate. All right, that we consolidate somewhere here, maybe somewhere here, and build that liquidity. And that can be used then on Wednesday or on Wednesday and Thursday for either side of that range. So that's also something I am considering. When we look at the 5-minute, we can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. So here was the breakdown yesterday afternoon. All right, and shorts covered into this daily level. We recover upside into Asia. We're going along sideways very, very nicely. A little bit of a back test. Starts finding lower high here and lower low. And then fear comes in and sell. Sweeping previous day low. Inverse head and shoulders. If they hold previous day low, we can have a trade up towards previous week low, Friday low, here and here. I'm watching these levels. Acceptance in and above that is what triggers a bigger squeeze potentially. All right, acceptance in and above this, or let me draw. In and above this is what can potentially trigger that. Otherwise, we can just find a lower high here, come back down. So previous week low, previous day low down here. Very, 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 very key. All right, so I don't want to get short at the lows. The one thing I do not want to be doing today is getting short down here and short down here. If I'm going to look for a short, it either needs a failure pattern, maybe after sweeping overnight, something like this, or we drive way, way higher towards this level here and we find sellers, same kind of thing, looking for that failure pattern down, back down. I'm not going to be short down here and I'm not going to keep shorting on the way up. I'd rather see this come and take everyone out, join the squeeze up, have a failure here or a failure higher like we talked about to go lower. If we just go straight down at the open, I'm probably going to be hands off, and that's okay. And I'll let it build out structure. All right, we'll let it build out structure if that is the case. Let's have a quick look then at the VIX. All right, VIX had a major swipe yesterday and in the pre-market. Okay, so VIX's high of day yesterday, previous day high, 2430s. We're currently printing 2418. When are we bullish in this market? When we're in the low teens. Are we anywhere near the low teens? No. We're absolutely not. We are in a risk-off environment. Lots of volatility and a risk-off environment. Okay, so just remember that. If you're even considering taking the longs today at any point, they are counter trend. They are the hardest trade in the book to do. The easy trend or the easy trade are the ones which are in line with the weekly, with the daily, with what we want to do. How much easier is this fade than this chop? How much easier is this fade than this chop? All right, so just remember that. Be smart. If you're a newer trader or you're trying to master one thing, master the pro trend first. All right, master the pro trend first. But I am clearly in here watching this move to here and then how we operate here. This is gap fill, this yellow line, and previous week low. How we operate here will dictate what happens next. So those are the trades that I'm looking at this morning. Let's have a quick look at the mag. How are we doing for time? 6 minutes left. Have a quick look at the mag. All right, Apple trading inside yesterday's range. So above yesterday's low. That I'm going to say this now. When we did that flush yesterday in the market, everything moved down with it. All right, there was a major flush point with it in the market. So when we did that, probably most things look like the Qs at the moment aren't and are holding unless we have relative weakness. Microsoft is one with relative weakness, okay? Trading underneath previous day low. That thing looks ugly. I would not be interested in touching that right now. Apple, holding on to previous day low, bouncing between PDL and PDC. Google, same thing as Apple. All starting to get weak. Must be selling in the market. Google breaking previous day low now. That also very, very ugly. Microsoft the same, very ugly, underneath previous day low. Right, all these things are in major, major sell-off territory. Nvidia, very, very ugly, underneath previous day low. Tesla, very, very ugly, underneath previous day low. So the only one that looks kind of okay and it's just started selling is Apple. That was the only one that's reclaimed PDL. So what I would say on the mag, most things on the mag are going to be very, very key at PDL and PDC. If we start reclaiming PDL and PDC on the Mag 7 and on these markets, it's only then that we might have a squeeze, okay? Because if breakout shorts, let's just think about this, right? If breakout shorts are going to be, why would they short the low of day? It happens. If breakout shorts took short positions here yesterday, where is their pain point? Above here and above here, all right? This is what forces the cover. Until that, anyone who is a breakout short at the close yesterday is out the money. The same for longs. If you were a dip buy long and you bought here or here yesterday, hoping we'd have a gap up this morning, you're currently out the money. So you're adding sell pressure to the market. All the time we're down here or down here, there's sell pressure. We get up here, they feel very, very comfortable. So always think about where those breakout participants are. Hopefully that has you pretty much covered. Let's have a quick look at the book. Who's on the book today? All right, we have a big old bid, right? 250 lot down at 20,050. Remember, we said we're not that far away from 20,000. There's 100 lot down at 20,200, and to the upside, not a whole lot. Seller at 20,400, but not too much on the book so far. Holding that previous day low and that inverted head and shoulders. Hopefully, some of you have grabbed this. Hopefully, some of you in the Discord grabbed it while I was walking my dog, but it looks very good. Look at how much points that's offering by holding this play right here versus here, starting to recover flow zones. If it can continue to hold this, you've got to drive up to here. If we break down, then your bear flag will be under here. I won't be touching that if we start breaking down there. No way am I touching that at the lows. Let's get through some good mornings then. Good morning, Clint, Max, Jeff, Vince, Crawford, DJ Noah, Marek, Array, TR, Miguel, Christy, my buddy Razorback. What's up, dude? Hope you're good. John, how's it going, man? Glenn, Indicator, Jeff, JD Florida Man, Peter Curry, Tracy Jones, Making It Happen, Omalabi1, Eva, Monkey C, Monkey Do Barbecue. Love it. What a great name. Blake Fosland, Ramus, Peter, Leron, Dopamine, Minix, Mr. Slim, Jesse, Trentry, Cat, Steve C, Willa, John, Arturo, Span Trading, Ralday99, and Phenom. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm just going to get through this chat. Some of you had some questions. Max, NQ will continue bull as it feels like it's going to break the highs. ES not following the bear. Reach my T1, T2 target. T3 target is 20,390. Well, you pretty much got that on that last drive, right? Sweeping these highs, 20,390. You pretty much got that. Yeah, you did get it. So hopefully you hit your targets there. Catching up with some of you guys. Let's have a look. Blake Fosson, at some point we're oversold. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. At some point we are oversold. I'd argue we're oversold right now. We're probably, if you looked at the fear and greed indicator, we're probably at max fear. But as we know, right, the market can go much, much further than people think. The reason we are in big sell-off other than fear, if you imagine every single point, if we just zoom out of here, if we imagine buyers stepped in here, they got liquidated yesterday. If buyers step in here and they get liquidated again, we're going to keep going lower. So what you need is shorts trapped at the lows and swing short positions to start covering. At the moment, there's no real reason to. All right, we've had no indication that, you know, we're recovering, that there's no recession on the way, you know, that these tariffs are not going to make any impact. We don't have any data to drive that. So any recovery right now is just like a counter trend, little short squeeze. A major recovery will happen if we get good data, like maybe on NFP, if we have good jobs data, maybe we get a drive higher. Maybe, depending on what Trump says tonight, if he's still doing that meeting at 8 o'clock, maybe that triggers a drive higher, right? But we're going to need some news in the market for a big, big drive higher. Already had a nice trade from 436 to previous day low. So watching this bounce up to see where sellers come back in. Yes, exactly, Peter. Isn't tonight when Trump tells it like it is? What do I think that would be? I have no idea, John. I have absolutely no idea. Cannot predict what he says. I mean, yesterday he was scheduled to talk about American investments, and he started talking about all sorts of other stuff. So who knows? Let's just refresh this quickly. Market now open, team. Come on. Come on, TradingView. Where are you at? You going to put my indicator on or what? Oh my gosh, TradingView having an absolute meltdown at the beginning of the day. Let's try that again. Here we go. There it is. All right, so just hanging around PDL. Let's just see how we go here this morning, team. Not in a rush to trade. We have yesterday's range to think about. We have previous day low to think about. Market in a bit of a bleed right now. Apple 0.5% up. Tesla 3.8% down. Nvidia 1.6% down. Meta 1.5% down. Google 0.20% down. Amazon 2.3% down. Microsoft 1% down. So most of the market in a bleed other than Apple, which has some relative strength. So just going to let this settle down and we will go from there. All right, not in a rush. Not in a rush to buy it until we really start proving something. And definitely not in a rush to sell the lows. That's the one thing I'm definitely not in a rush to do is sell these lows down here. All right, so it might be a good day to wait for that 10 o'clock. 4 hour and 1 hour candle. All right, but potentially still setting up for this if it can hold for a drive up to here. Let's put in the New York Open before I forget, which I seem to do every single day. Where are you, Mr. Open? All right, here. I'll get this guy in. Might see if there's a good anchor from yesterday. What is a good sell point? If we started recovering through some of these quickly. All right, it's the same point. That's all right. Would love a drive higher at some point today. Only, like I said yesterday, because it offers the counter trend long, but it also offers a short at better value. What I don't want to do is to get short in the hole. We talk about it all the time. So coming back down here to these pre-market lows. Pre-market lows into 20,080. If there's max fear in this market, they can just sell the whole thing off. Just what they've been doing the last few days, right? So definitely not buying, trying to buy the lows, right? But we will watch to see how we operate versus this guy here. Do we turn inside and then recover this? I need to see recovery from here, and a bigger squeeze recovery will be this previous week low all the way up here. Otherwise, this market can just continue to fade off, all right? Remember, shorts are in total control in this market right now. Tesla, the heavy one, all right, 4.5% down already. That thing cannot find a recovery, and it's been like that for, I would say, a good month now. Good morning, BU. Just see you pop in there. Sorry, anyone I missed out. Good morning, Calypso. Tried to get through them all. So let's see, team. Let's see how we go here. Not in a rush, I could keep talking about in the mornings. Not in a rush. SPY. Oh, no, that's Apple. Oh, my charts are all off. There we go. SPY coming into those yearly lows. Okay, so I've got these starting now on a daily, and they trade all the way down to 575. All right, we're currently trading at 578. But the start of that daily block, so like I said, I'm watching SPY into yearly lows to see how we operate there. So far, finding a bit of a bid off the start of that daily block. If we start to turn here and start to see some form of recovery, Google starting to try and go green, so very early in the session, then we can have a look at it. I just get my charts looking a little bit better here. There we go. All right, market trying to find a little bid after sweeping overnight. Did it sweep? Not quite. Very close. I'd rather see that sweep. ES did sweep, so you definitely have divergence there. Just got to close this 1 second. There we go. So it might not look like anything, but we're already 100-point range. Insane. Watch your ATR. Biggest ATR of the morning, already 75 points. You must watch your ATR, which means you need to be watching the size of your positions right now. Yes, Yulimar got it fixed. The old smash the computer screen and press the reset button fixed her trading view yesterday. That's all it required. Watching this New York Open, watching previous day low, watching to see how we operate there. All right, if we start to reclaim some of these levels, there might be a trade upside. Really, the bigger trigger will be through 400. We have got view up above. If we get through that, we can look at Asia London low, Asia London high. Until then, I'm hands off. I'm not looking to short in the lows, and I'm not looking to guess the bottoms. Just got to let it sort of do its thing. Maybe on like the next hourly bar. This has the potential, this hourly bar, to be an engulfing bar, especially if it just swept that low. Starting to look better here. They're starting to bid up through previous day low here. So want to see if they're going to start to join this squeeze. Here's the squeeze, initiating some. And let's see, here we go. I'm in this long now. Just trailing this aggressively because I don't know when they're going to come back in and sell this, but I'm already up almost $1,000. Look how quick that happened. This is a huge, huge play. Can we go and take out this level here into 400? That's what I'm looking through. Squeeze through 400 all the way up to VWAP. Here's my daily goal already. Fantastic. And can we get through VWAP? And then I'm going to be looking at the previous week low. All right. If we can get through here in VWAP, I'm looking for previous week low. Taking some profit there. Wow, that was very, very quick. $1,000 locked in. Bang. Easy as that. So once we did double bottom, sweep, recover PDL, recover New York, trigger trade for squeeze up to here. Now, if we start to base here, we can look to close this gap all the way to the yellow line. But I'm off now. It's just a counter trend. Like I said, when I counter trend, quick on the trigger, and I take money off real quick. All right. And if it starts to base out, we can have another stab at it. 1 for 1. You might be like, wow, that was very quick. It was here to here. But look at the size of that move, almost 100 points. Like I said, watch your ATR. Watch your ATR. Quick on the trigger, watch your ATR. Here comes ES coming in to test previous day low. All right, so we have divergence in where we are versus PDL. So ES testing PDL, we are comfortably above PDL. PDL, this green line on the chart. All right, so we are already above it. ES is coming to test it now. If ES finds sellers, we move down, then NQ might fail its VWAP test. This is higher time frame algo, lower time frame algo here as well. So these are big, big levels. We start to reclaim this, we're going to go for that previous week low. If we reclaim previous week low, a squeeze is on. A potential squeeze is on at that point, all the way back up to Asia and London high. So 1 for 1, letting this settle down now. Daily goal already met. So all planned out pre-market, wasn't it? And we talked about it in the Discord. Watch that previous day low as a trigger. You have to watch it as a trigger. Hopefully lots of you got it. Looks like you did. Looks like you did. Christy, Peter Curry, Mr. Slim, Lee Kim. Yeah, sometimes they go quick like that, especially when we're in potential counter trends, right? They can act very, very quick. But hey, we're what, 8 minutes into the day. Lots of time left. Lots and lots and lots of time left. Took that bullish move same time as me. Lovely work, Max. Lovely work. So just waiting now because ES is at previous day low. Might find some sellers here, and the NQ is at the VWAP. So we can be patient here and wait, can't we? We can wait for this to build out liquidity. All right, might come back down here, offer a bullish pattern again, and we can think about joining here, and maybe up into this. Otherwise, if we're going to sell previous day low on ES, which is right here, then we can come back down and wash. So far, liking what I'm seeing for a potential squeeze. Would have preferred, did this fully sweep? It did sweep by a tick. There we go. We did get a sweep by a tick. So potentially, right, shorts got trapped at lows. Breakout shorts versus pre-market low came in and they went, ow, that hurt. Right, so the same thing we talk about. And this was exactly the same as yesterday when we look at that trap on the hourly. Same kind of thing, all right? ES stuck at previous day low. NQ stuck at that VWAP. All right, so remember, it was counter trend. That's why we lock in, and now we just wait. We're just waiting to see what happens next. Would like to see. So this hourly bar is now looking like an engulfing bar. I want to see it close high, really, to stay as an engulfing bar. We're still holding previous day low here. If ES can get going, we might have another stab here at getting long. If ES can get going. It's looking good here. ES back to previous day low. Might have missed that trigger into towards the New York Open. Going to wait a little bit longer, but flow zones will start to flip here if this is going to trigger a squeeze, further squeeze. Want to be careful. Looking at the tape, where are all the buyers and sellers? Pretty spread out right now. It's funny. I'm getting messages from my family, genuinely on WhatsApp, saying, "Oh, all my portfolio's down. I'm going to sell everything." That's normally a good indication at some point that I want to start buying everything. I'd like lower prices. I would love NQ to come back down to 16,000. If we do that, I'm selling my house and everything's going into the market. I'll close my eyes for the rest of my life. Still rejecting previous day low here on the ES. We're still trying to hold it on the NQ. All right, we're still trying to hold it on the NQ. Let's see what we get. You can't make this stuff up. Literally trading and my family all in panic mode this morning. It's quite funny. All right, do me a favor, team. Over 116 of you watching. Not even a third of you hit that like button. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Then I don't need to moan about it all day. It helps me and the algorithm, helps the stream grow. Doesn't cost you a thing. Just hit that little thumbs up button down below. Do me a massive favor. Oh, Max, what happened to my place in England? Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Had an argument with the management company. Managed to convince them that it's their job to pay for the damages as they didn't do a checkout. New people have now moved in. And the old tenants, I don't know how you do this, decided that they would smash one of my floorboards and take it out the property. So how the management company didn't see that before the new ones checked in, I don't know. So now I'm going to have to find out if that floorboard is still even available. If not, I've probably got to refloor the whole thing. So again, I'm in arguments with the management company right now. Not impressed with them whatsoever. Taking 20% commission for doing absolutely F all. For just disappointing me non-stop right now. All right, so still in a sell here. ES rejecting the previous day low. That's the key thing. Watching SPY down into yearly lows. Yearly lows 575.32. Right, that's where I'm watching the SPY. Insurance. Yeah, I have insurance to cover it. Yeah, I have insurance to cover it. But I don't know if it'd be worth it, to be honest. It might be better than me paying out my pocket than increasing the premium. Bit of a nightmare, though. Bit of a nightmare situation. All right, this might look like nothing. This looks tiny, doesn't it? All right, this looks like we've hardly moved today. This is 170 points. Be careful. Watch your ATR. ATR, so far this morning, is a high of 104 points per 1 minute candle. All right, in a normal market, it might be 15 points. So just be aware of your ATR. If you're using normal size to get today and you're in the wrong side of it, and it smacked around. ES now sweeping its current low. It's trading into that daily block, right? We talked about it right at the beginning of the show, right? Right at the beginning. Some of you would have missed that. Right at the beginning of the show, when we go over the daily charts, I talked about the SPY. I'm watching the SPY into yearly lows, all right? I want to see if it finds a bid and protects the yearly lows. It's trying to find a bid on that daily block, right? The daily block I've got on the SPY is 578 down to 575. All right, it's trying to protect its yearly lows right now. That's the key thing for me. Does it protect it? Does it sweep it? Does it fail and stay heavy versus it? Oh, I appreciate that, Coop. Thank you very much. Yeah, I might take you up on that if I need. And I'll know more in the next day or two. But thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. So 1 for 1 this morning on that counter trend long. Just waiting now to see what's what. Again, I don't want to get short at the lows here. Really don't want to get short at the lows. If we're going to short the lows, all right, I'm going to need a big failure and a pullback and some form of rejection to get short. What I'm not going to do is get short down here and get my butt squeezed, all right? That's what happened to these guys already today. There is possibility that we trade lower into those yearly lows on the SPY, for sure. It's very, very possible right now. We've left Asia and London completely in the money. All those shorts in Asia and London are in the money. Current H1 bar has repriced the old imbalance and is still finding a sell versus this. Right? I don't want this to be a pin bar. I was hoping this would be an engulfing bar and maybe close up here and allow this trade upside. Not just for me to get bullish, but if we can get further up here somewhere, big old squeeze, if we can get a run up here, then I can get a nice short back down into this, right? So I can get both sides of the low-hanging fruit. Right now, this is looking more like a bit of a pin bar. A little bit ugly. A little bit ugly. The H1's been very tricky this week on the NQs. Left a lot of highs and left lots of people in the market. So let's just see. Watching ES, all right, previous day low on the ES will remain the trigger. Here's the market trying to have a little shove here. Nvidia now green, Google now green, Amazon now green. It wants to get going. This range is big, all right? Do not get confused by the size of these candlesticks thinking they're small. These are big old bars. Big old bars. And we're going to watch this VWAP here. If we start reclaiming, then we're going to think about that trade upside towards previous week low. We get through previous week low, we're going to have a bigger squeeze. A lot of this is dependent on how the ES is going to operate right now. But we are trying to see some start of recovery here in some of these names. But lots of them still weak. Tesla 4.25% down. Meta 2.75% down. Amazon 2.19% down. Microsoft half a percent down. All right, so tech's still weak. But if they start to find a bid and try and recover, then we're going to think about what next. ES definitely holding that daily block, all right, and the SPY, I should say more. That daily block, the yearly lows, if you look at the yearly lows on the SPY, we went over at the very beginning of stream. It is trying to protect that so far. It can trade all the way down to 575. All right, the block is big. It's, 4 points. So in ES, does that equate to 40 points? Probably, something like that. We're just waiting here. I haven't taken another trade yet. I'm just letting this build out the liquidity. All right. It will become clear when it's ready. It will become nice and clear. All right. This is our range on the day. All right. This is basically your orb right now. We're in a 170 point orb. Where is the 5 minute? Here. So fail break on the 5. So a 5 and a 15-minute orb. This is it. We get above this and base. We can get going to here, close the gap, and then above. If we fail this or fail the peak, we come back downside. So ES having another little run now. Are we going to squeeze through here? It's a big old question here. Are we going to squeeze through? Can they trigger the squeeze through VWAP? Looking pretty good. Watching ES again into previous day low. I want to see if the market is going to hold and squeeze here or if it's going to get slammed on VWAP. So still not in anything. Just waiting. Just waiting. Remember, the ATR is big right now. Why is my screen moved? Not even into the new H1 and H4 bar. This hourly bar is going to look better though if we can close high. Feel like the trigger is going to be ES at previous day low. It's going to have to reclaim that if it's going to have a shot at doing anything. ES definitely weaker out of the two right now. We are above previous day low on the NQ. ES is below it. So still just letting this shake out. We will just wait. Wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And eventually we're probably going to get our trade. It's mad how big this range is. Crazy. Really hard to see. So one thing that I find quite hard on futures, let's move this to a 1 minute, is how big the range is on these bars. Because if you had a 100-point bar on something like Apple versus its normal, I don't know, $2, It would be equivalent of having like a $10 bar on Apple. You would see it. It'd be really, really easy to see. On the futures, you have to pay attention to your ATR because you just won't see the difference. So back to PDL again. Again, this market's chopping around in a 170-point range. It wants to go to 5790. Yeah, that will probably be that daily level, will it? Let me have a little look. 5790. Where's the yearly low? We're already through yearly low. 5790. I think it's potential to go lower. It's, for me, on the ES, all these wicks from October and November into 5730s, 5720s look pretty ripe. Having a look at the daily on ES, it looks a bit different to the SPY. The one reason, if you're like, why is he looking at the SPY? Why is he looking at the ETFs at the moment? It's because, all right, we are into rollover territory. What do I mean by that? We've come back down 3-4 months worth of price action, right? All right. So when we're looking at the futures, we're including rollover right now, and we know that the futures gapped up 30-40 points on that rollover, whereas if I look at the ETFs, there's no rollover in those. So I'm looking at actual, the correct support and resistance, the correct supply and demand. Does that make sense? That's the only reason I'm referring to the ETFs as often as I am at the moment, because we are back into October, November prices on the futures, and that means we've rolled over, and we're due another rollover in a couple weeks. Right, we will have triple witching, third week of this month? So in 2 weeks, we're going to have another rollover. So fresh lows on the day on ES, finding a bid there right in front of your level there, Max. 5790s. I think it hit 5791. I'm watching that yearly low, 575 on the SPY, and we are just going back and forth here, right? Here is our range. No reason to get trapped in this range, right? We can get outside, we can get outside, we can get failures, we can get failures. Once we go to the edges of the range, we can think about what next. I'm very much like yesterday, not getting trapped inside this range. Yeah, it's a bit of a tip for you, for those who trade futures. Once we lose price action and we go back 2, 3, 4 months, you're into a previous contract, and then price gets a little bit wonky. You're not necessarily getting the correct data, because where we look at NQ1 or NQ March, it doesn't necessarily adjust to what the January and December contract was. It's sometimes good to go back and test the ETFs. Like QQQ, I can see it's filled an old gap here. We are just banging and banging and banging on the bottom of an old gap right now on the Qs. If we trade through that, let's just make sure the yearly, we're well through the yearly levels. There we go. So we're fading here. So I think SPY wants to come down to 575.35-ish. That's the yearly low, and then how it operates there is going to be key. And that's what I'd be watching on the SPY right now. So I think if we do that, ES has got a big old move in here if it wants. But again, not trading this, definitely not getting short at the low of day when we're in a 170-point range. Even if this breaks down, I'm not going to chase it. All right, I talked to my team yesterday. There's a couple of members yesterday saying, I missed that end of move play to the downside. Even if I had one contract on, I would have made some money. But the way I see that is, if you weren't in position for it already, then you did very well to just not give in to FOMO. You give in to FOMO, it will catch you, all right? FOMO is what causes probably most the moves in the market, because FOMO is breakout traders and traders that are even later than breakout. We just be patient. Yeah, ES looking good here. ES, the weaker of the two right now. Most of the market now red other than Google. So we're starting to sell. How long we got? Just over 5 minutes until we get that new H1, H4 candle. That's really what I'm waiting for right now. This current H1 candle is starting to look disgusting. All right, no engulfing bar. It looks back into a pin bar formation right now. Okay, so it's repriced. Found sellers didn't even get into this range here. Found sellers in front of it. And if it closes low, it's going to be ugly. Then we can think about failure and trade upside, or failure and drip lower on the H1. What I wanted was an engulfer to take this out and close high. If it can do that, oof, look at that turnaround. That was very quick. If it can do that, then we can get going. Still just inside the range, still nothing to do. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Higher time frame is still in a sell, remember. High time frame in a sell. So we're 1 for 1. Took the first squeeze out this morning. Now just waiting. Yeah, but, well, you got to be disciplined. I want to be a sniper in the market, all right? I want to shoot for headshots. Shoot to kill. That's what I want to be in the market. What I don't want to be is someone walking into a bar with a machine gun that he's got no control over, shooting the ceilings, missing everyone that you're supposed to aim for, all right? So if you keep shooting in this range, that's what's going to happen. You're probably going to keep shooting and missing. You probably shoot yourself in the foot and take your kneecap out. I want to be a sniper. I want to wait for the market to show me the target, say, hey, you've got one shot to kill, go and kill it. Nice clear line, bang, take your money, get out. $20,010. Yeah, it's got that move down. I think we talked about it on the daily. It's got that in there if it wants to go down to these max, these lows down here from end of October, beginning of November. It has got that move in it down there. What I'd like to see if we're going to do that, though, is a nice move and a reject, something to risk off. What I don't want to do is just drip all the way down. It's going to be hard then, all right? Because then you're going to end up chasing a short and easy to get stuck. I would like to see us build something out and then get there, ideally, on from a daily point of view. But you're not wrong. It's got a level there. That's why we got it marked out. Definitely has a level down there. But if we get short now, we're shorting low of day, low of month, low of week, and pretty much low of year. Not an ideal location for a short, is it? We might get panic. It might move lower. Like very, very possible. Like I said, SPY has that move down to 57530. So that's its yearly low. We are currently in QQQ. We're trading and filling in an old gap. Right, we're filling in an old gap on the QQQ. Well, it's completely filled, to be honest, but we haven't broken outside to the downside of the gap. I still like a trade upside first to get short into. Yeah, exactly, Max, exactly. If momentum keeps going downside, but we don't have good location, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Remember, flow zone is currently flat. We're underneath New York Open. This is previous day low. What we would like is some sort of short squeeze trigger up into here, and then either a short here, or if it really gets going, a short up here. And that can be later in the week. Yeah, exactly. 90 seconds left. Yeah, just in a big range so far this morning, Tyson. We did catch a long, and now just waiting. And we'll see how this H4 and H1 prints. This H1 print, H1 currently is indecision. H4 is in a big bleed. It will offer a rebalance all the way up to 20,440 on a new H4 bar if it can reclaim 322 on the new bar transition. So basically up towards the current H1 high. So far, just in a bit of a wedge here. Building out a wedge. So funny. No one in my family ever messages me about the market, especially when I'm trading. And then today, everyone in panic mode. Everyone in panic mode. So getting pretty close here on the SPY to those yearly lows. 57535s. Getting pretty close. Remember, this is the first day the tariffs have actually been present. So coming back down towards the low of day right now, we have 10 seconds left into a new hourly candle. So This candle closing very, very heavy, all right? Nice spike up in this candle, closing weak. Not what we would want to see if we were looking for that transition higher. Here comes yearly lows on the SPY, taken, all right? So we've just slammed those yearly lows on the SPY. They've just been taken. So right before this new H4 candle. Now I'm watching 57530 on the SPY. I am going to watch that. I am going to watch it. We are most definitely in a big old sell here. So remember now, it means every single buyer who's been in this market since January the 1st on the ETF, on the SPY, just got stopped out. All right. So if you took that on the ES or SPY, you've done very, very nicely. This is what we we're talking about this morning. NQ still with relative strength here. Trading into a bit of a pool of liquidity. What is this block I have set here? I'm going to have to zoom out to have a look. It's a big old block. Where has that come from? It's these daily wicks. Okay, so we're coming down. We're trading. I'm going to get rid of this. This is incorrect. Trading into some daily wicks right now. Just going to sharpen this up because this looks different to Ninja, and it is different to Ninja. And this is the problem between the rollover. This is what I'm saying. We're into rollover. So on Ninja, I've got this printing that we're already in it because Ninja and TradingView are looking at these rollover dates slightly differently. So this is where it gets tricky because we're in this rollover action. This is why I've been looking at the ETFs. Interesting. Literally putting totally different charts here in terms of where structure is. Let's catch up for a second. So SPY reclaiming yearly low here. If its job was to take out yearly low and drive higher, ooh, be an interesting one. So just watching the ETFs. So far, we're in a sell this morning. This breakdown here was a sell. SPY taking out its yearly structure low. What I don't like, the worst thing at the moment for me is that I'm not getting alignment in these old contracts. So I'm going to go back again to my ETFs and draw out some more structure here because we're now in October price action, right? So into the previous contract. If we keep going too much lower, we're going to get into a 6-month-year-old contract. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare, especially in 3 weeks' time when we're going to roll over into another new contract. There we go. New lows coming in this market. Having to back reference everything here. So I have a low here. What is that? Into the low 20,100 on a daily right now. What a nightmare this is. This is the most discrepancy I've seen between Ninja and TradingView on a rollover. Crazy. Move these. Where is this level here? 20,000. So on the NQ1, I've got it at 20, sort of into 20,010. Very different to the NQ March contract, that low. So just be aware, NQ1, NQ March printing very, very different prices down there, as in where those daily lows can be. SPY starting to try and reclaim that yearly low right now. It is attempting to reclaim that yearly low. I am watching that very, very carefully. We are in a sell. We are at low of day. We're at low of year. We're at low of week. We're at low of month. We're in a sell pattern right now. There is absolutely nothing to be bullish about yet, but there is a counter trend trade here. If we start to reclaim, which is what it's trying and attempting to do, here's your drive up, trying to fill this imbalance. Watching this H1, we're now starting to trade back inside the old H1 bar, remember. Starting to trade back inside the old H1 bar here. It can reprice upside a little bit. I just want to see how we react. Watching the book. Book's actually pretty thin to the upside. Not a whole lot there. We have a buyer down at 20,150. 150 lot down there. Market remains in a sell. Very, very heavy market. Max fear in the market. So here it goes. H1 now starting to reprice upside. That old transition will take us to 262, maybe something like that. Probably into this imbalance. I'm still watching to see if we can reclaim anything up here. Running out of targets. That's the problem. Running out of targets right now for downside. Unless we're going to trade into 20,000 flat and sub 20,000 on a daily. It's staying in a sell so far. Just so weak. No drive really to sell into. Lots of pools of liquidity down here. 20,000, 20, and then the next level all the way down to 19,800. That's what I've got. That's on a... I'll just make sure that's... What's that on? That's on an NQ1, though. Yeah, it's on an NQ1, not an NQH. If you're like, what's the difference? What's the difference? It's... The reason I keep referencing these is because we've rolled over, right? So NQ1 is trying to adjust all price from that January contract or December contract. New lows here coming in the market. Oh, I wanted a drive to get short into this. No pops in this market at all, really. Maybe that morning shove we took was it. Maybe that was enough. Yearly lows staying heavy here so far on the SPY. Look at the VIX, just on an absolute tear right now. 25s. What's this? Oh, max $13,000. Well played, my friend. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So range still pretty big. 252 points here. H1 in a bleed. That last drive up to fill that old imbalance. Getting sold into right towards the end of that H1 candle. Very, very weak. Hardest thing for me here is... So you usually like price bounce the daily Bollinger, but it didn't. Did you ever consider a weekly Bollinger? Yeah, I referenced it in the room, I think, the back end of last week. We are getting near. We're not too far from the weekly. We're right at it now. Knew we were getting close. But it's these pools of liquidity here. The only thing that's worrying me, Tyson, or is a bit tricky, is, like I said, it's the contract rollovers. The price is not going to be acutely accurate right now. But if we move this to a QQQ, oh, I can see you're on the wrong chart. Hang on. So QQQ has a bit longer to go into this pool of liquidity. This is October lows. If we go NQ, and we're basically almost there as well. And this is on a weekly rather than a daily. I think we talked about it in the room maybe yesterday. I don't like shorting the lows. This is exactly it. I don't like shorting the lows. I'd prefer for the drive higher to get in short into. Like I said, if this bleeds all day without me, it's just going to be one of those things where it's going to bleed without me. Nice, Peter. Lovely work. Lee, I'm not worried about the new contract. It's the old contract, right? It's that old contract. It's the discrepancy in price between the December, January, and March contract, right? Because we're trading back, we're looking left, we're trading back into old levels. We're trading back into old levels. So you get price discrepancy between what would be, what was that old contract called? I don't know what the old contract was, December, January contract, whatever its ticker was for it. That and the NQ1 and the NQ March will show different prices because we price adjust on the rollover. So I think there was, it could have been up to 70, 80 points difference on that rollover. We are bleeding. We are massively bleeding here. I'm getting FOMO for not being in this. But it's not offering me a drive higher for me to risk off right now into flow zones. No real structure. This here, but this was right into the transition of the new candle. But I wanted this to close high to then get weak, or close high up here to sell into to then get weak, just to offer better RR. Right now, not doing it, and that's fine. All of the market now in a bleed. Tesla 6.9% down. That thing's going to go SSR soon. Yeah, does that make sense, Lee Kim? Not worried about the new contract. Not worried about that at all. Just the discrepancy in price on the old contract. That's why I keep looking at the ETFs. So I'm having to move my screens quite a lot here. But market's super weak. Can't be looking for buys here. We had one attempt at the buy, took that squeeze this morning, made pretty good money. Now just waiting as it continues to bleed out here. Getting big expansion on the H1, big expansion on the daily. It just feels like we're coming for all these lows into 20,000 right now. Not even a pop higher, really, to sell into. We've got that big buy down at 20,050. 260 lot down there. I'm just sat here like a lemon, not in the short. There we go. It happens sometimes. Remember, this up here is a bit of an imbalance, which can be filled all the way up there. Starting to find some bids here. These moves are big when they're happening, by the way. These are no joke. SPY coming to backtest yearly lows. SPY coming to backtest its yearly lows. We're trading back into the flow zones. Lots of stops here, an imbalance here to fill. Watching this carefully. Do we swipe up? SPY very close to these yearly lows now. 575.35-ish was yearly low. So it's back testing that right now. Let's see if they sell into that level or not. $25s now on the VIX. Finding some sells at 25.70. It feels like some short covering starting to occur here in this market. Do we start to initiate a bit of a squeeze to fill here or not? Much of it is going to depend on that SPY on its yearly low. And so far, that backtest got sold into. Still early in this candle. Having a little look around, looking at the H1. We're trading back into the H1 close as well. Previous H1 close. There's a potential for this H1 bar to come up a bit higher if it trades through that close. And that will really depend on if the SPY is going to have failed under the yearly close. So if we have a failed auction underneath the yearly close, there's potential for it to trade upside. Remember, longs will be counter trend today, but it's not necessarily that I want to take a long, it's that I want to get short, so I need it to drive higher. So here it goes. Here's the yearly lows right here, right now on the SPY. These are big levels. Does it get acceptance above, or do they come back in and sell versus this level? Does it get acceptance back inside, or do they sell? So far, they're selling versus the yearly low on the SPY. So why I'm watching the ETFs. I've kind of like lost interest a little bit in the futures right now because I know the price is a bit wonky. So I'm just watching the ETFs right now. So you can see they sold that yearly low. What did I say? 35s? They sold 40. All right, so they sold 575.40 there. Yearly lows staying intact here. And the flow zone so far. Lots of stops up here left as well. We will not get up here unless SPY This is basically yearly low on SPY. Just think of this level here as yearly low. If they reject this, we stay lower. If we get acceptance inside, we can trade back upside for a little bit. So far, rejecting it. Yeah, they're selling that. They are selling those yearly lows currently. So we've got a bid on the tape here at 150. I've just had that one trade so far today, nothing else. Bid on the tape here at 150, and then another bid on the tape down at 20,050. It's not a futures TR. It's an ETF. So you'd need to go to stocks and just type in SPY. Big rejection there on the SPY versus that. Coming in for new lows. There you go. So that was the sell point. That's confirming that they want to stay heavy versus that yearly low so far. That's confirming it. Flipping this tiny little imbalance here now as well. This is key. Do we break down and make a new low? Do we break down and make a new low here? Apple still with relative strength. Very, very, very impressive. No new lower day yet, but it feels like it's coming. VIX having a drive back up. It does have a pin bar on the 5 minute. All right, I am watching this. It does have a pin bar on the 5 minute. Here's the fresh low. Drifting lower now. Are we just going to keep melting? That yearly low was massive. Absolutely massive on the SPY. That was a massive, massive level. Yeah, it's true, Gary. What people just see it as a buying opportunity, don't they? Number one stock in the index. Every time it drifts lower, they see it as a buying opportunity. VIX looking for a potential new high of day here. So continuing this sell versus flow zones. Big level. Shame we didn't sweep that and then do it. That would have been really nice. What is this level here that we're trading into right now? Check it out down here. 4 hour. This is a huge block here. I'm going to tweak this slightly. That's not fresh. That's not fresh. These are the lows. All right, so liquidity here. First level would be 20,128, then 20,100 flat, 20,074, and then basically 20,000 even, 20,025. Those are all off the H4. I've just been looking at what that pool was down there. So another 12 minutes until your initial balance is set. It's going to be a huge initial balance today, guys. Absolutely massive. Continuing to sell here in a big, big, big sell here. Drifting lower. You cannot be buying this. I cannot say that enough. You cannot be buying this right now. All right, we're in a big, big momentum down day. Liquidating all levels. We've got new lows on the year. SPY coming very close to its 200 day now, by the way. 571. It's 200 day. Keep having to zoom out on these and go back so far. Going back so far in data right now. Yeah, big pool of liquidity we're starting to trade into on the Qs here. Screens are not big enough to see it all. Keep drifting lower. So you cannot be buying this. Again, you cannot be buying this. Don't try and pick the bottoms. You will get absolutely slapped. There's 21,000 or 20,100, sorry. Yeah, it happens, Peter. I mean, again, this is very similar to the last few days. We never take something out to go down. We never get that trap to go down. It's frustrating for that A+ move. That would have been really nice versus this liquidity here. If we could have just repriced in here a little bit and then sold. Encourage bulls to get in and then sold. But yeah, so much fear in the market. It does nothing but go down right now. But at some point, there will be a little cover rally, and then we can think about it. Maybe into this 200-day. There's buys here. 20,100, 20,050, 20,000 flat. New lower day coming here. Really want to get involved in a sell here. I'm getting into a big pool of liquidity though. Delete this. Don't need that one now. $20,010 is what I'd be watching right now if we drift into that. I want to find a way to get involved, but I don't want to be involved down here. Having to delete and clean up all my levels constantly as we just slam through everything. Range on the day, 350 points. 9 minutes away right now from the initial balance being set. This H1 candle doing a huge amount of damage. Yeah, all the market's tanking. Apple now red. Everything's tanking. Only thing that's not tanking is gold. Why is that? It's a good hedge. It's a good hedge. It's people moving out of the American markets, safe haven into gold, especially the Asian markets, right? Especially the Asian markets. Continue to buy up gold. I would always be the idiot to buy this market. Go with the flow and short. Exactly, Gary. Don't pick bottoms, all right? Don't go against major momentum. We're breaking down yearly lows. We're at daily lows, weekly lows, monthly lows, yearly lows. Why guess the bottom, right? It's going to be obvious when that bottom's in. We had one go for that little short squeeze this morning, which we made good profit on. And since then, we went sideways, built the liquidity, and then we broke down from the liquidity. It's just a shame it had to do it right on a new hourly bar transition. I would have really liked it if we closed high to then go short. But we don't always get what we want, and that's all right. That's just part of it. So remember, daily lows we're looking at right now is the pull down to 20,010. If we start fading through that, next level down we can clear up is down to 19,800. These are the levels I was saying I wanted cleaned up in October. Right, so we're going back to clean up the relative, all those like relative equal lows back in October. We're going to go and run out all those stops. Jack, look at Jack. Look how Jack's improved. I love it. You might all laugh at this, but Jack said, I did not buy the bottom. Now, I know, because Jack turns up on stream a lot, I know that's a big deal for him. Jack loves to try and pick the reversals. And to not do that, to break that habit, is a tough habit to break. So great work, Jack. I honestly mean that. It's a really hard habit to break. I know it is. I've been there personally. As someone that used to short sell small caps all the time. Good work. TR saying Tuesday is my worst day strat-wise, so not pushing anything. That's great. Look at you guys. You're all learning, right? Sticking to your process. Jack's learned not to pick bottoms. TR's learned that Tuesday's worst day, so not playing. These are all things that keep you in the game longer, right? Know what you're good at. Refine your edge. Stick to it. Yeah, small caps. I used to short small caps. That's where I cut my teeth. A few people in the chat were the same. Razorback, Coop. Although Coop, you did more mids as well, right? But me and Razorback, we were short sellers. I like that, TR. That's good. I should use that. Picking bottoms ends up with smelly fingers. What about picking tops? Have you got a saying for that one? So SPY not far away from its 200-day SMA. That's normally a very, very good buying opportunity in the market. Traditionally, I'm not saying you buy that. Traditionally, long-term buyers will start buying that, all right? Because that's your yearly average. That would take you into 5, 7, 1, I don't know, 10 or something, 15. So building liquidity here. Again, this is a pool of liquidity on a daily right now. Right, does it do this to trade lower? I really don't love the short anymore because I feel like we're so far down. I've missed most of it. And we've got an initial balance going to be set in the next 5 minutes. So what we can do is we can wait for the IB to be set and we can think about an auction or a failed auction. A failed auction on the IB today would be really nice because what that would be, if we set the IB here, if we clear up all of this, all right, we've taken out all the daily levels and we trade inside, then we get that mean reversion trade back up to here. And what I'm also going to do is an anchor because we've had a big sell in the New York. Let's do an anchor off the New York Open. There we go, into deep flow zones. So let's do that as dark green. So I remember. And we can wait for the IB and then we can go from there. But this is a big old H1, H4 bar down, doing a lot of damage. It still looks like bear flag so far. They're looking to break down. They want to take out 20,010 basically. That's what they would like to do. Remember, if you're selling this, you're selling very, very low in this session. I'm just going to wait right now. What I'd love to see is a failed auction. I'd love to see it auction down once this IB is set, come and clear out those daily levels and then trade upside. That would be magnificent. What's your ATR? I would say average ATR on the day is probably around 47 points, your average ATR on the day. So be careful. That's per 1 minute candle. Per 1 minute candle. 134 of you watching right now. Smash that like button, please, as this stream grows every single day. So some relief here in front of the initial balance, right? Some relief here in front of the initial balance. I'd say 20,067. That's your value area low of the day so far as well. We would like to see this swipe lower first before it does anything else. Ideally, this swipes lower first into the IB, take out all those daily stops before it goes higher. If it just goes straight higher, it's going to be a bit of a bugger. We don't really want that. Trading back in towards flow zones here. We can watch that yearly low on the SPY as well. That was going to remain key. Here's your relief. Oh, don't do it in front of the IB. Come on, market. What a tease. What a tease. Coming back up towards yearly low now. All right, we are coming back up towards yearly low now on the SPY. Big, big level, remember. Acceptance over it will cause a big old squeeze up, I would say. Coming back into flow zones. Why does it have to go early? We want this to clear out the lows first. Come on. Don't you just squeeze straight up like that. 90 seconds left. I'm watching SPY at that yearly low. It is a massive level, as we've talked about. Sort of 575.30, I think we said it was. 575.30, 33, somewhere around that. Acceptance above that can trigger a squeeze back up. All right, but we would really rather this trades lower first, cleans everything out. But so far, it doesn't seem very willing to do that, does it? It's finding a bid in front of this initial balance, which is only 1 minute away. Very, very close. Coming all the way up to it now. This is a decent bar here. If they can pivot here, it'd be interesting. I'd much rather it does this. Much rather it does this. But if shorts got trapped down here, there is a relief into here for sure. But we'd much rather it cleans up the dailies, sets the IB, failed auction, and then offer this trade. That would be a much better setup for the rest of the day. Obviously, we can also auction lower if it's going to stay heavy versus IBL. How long we got? 10 seconds left. And then we get a new 5 and 15 minute bar. We can also think, let's just think about a channel here as well. Let's make it nice and easy. Do one channel. It's a bit messy, that, isn't it? A little bit messy, but it's a strong channel. So IB now set. And putting in a bottom here, there is that possible rotation up towards VWAP. We know there is a ton of stops right here. Okay, these guys are all ripe to get taken at some point. But what we'd really love is to come underneath the IB, clean everything up before going up there. Doesn't seem very willing to do that right now, but that's what we'd love. So here comes SPY back to that yearly low. Very, very, very close here. All right, so either they sell back into this again. Remember, first attempt we sold into. If they start reclaiming this, there is potential for that upside move. Here it goes. Here's the attempt at it. Can't get through it yet. Oh, if you don't give that failed auction, you're going to be a bugger. Here's SPY, and one more attempt at it. Nuts. This is a big, 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 big level here. It's tapping right on it now. This is previous yearly lows, all right? Monthly, weekly, daily, yearly lows. It's trying to get acceptance above it. That's what it's trying to do. Much rather this sold down first, but it doesn't seem willing to do that. It just wants relief right now. Google trying to go green. Apple now green again. Rest of the market in a bleed. Feels like potential bottom is in, but I really want those daily levels cleaned out. But we know NQ, the last, I'd say even the last few weeks, has been reluctant to take major liquidity before doing moves. It's left it so many times on. How many times have you heard me the last week talk about can't get in because it hasn't taken hourly or daily levels? So many times it seems to do that right now. So far, rejecting that level on the SPY. Still not through it. Still finding sellers there so far. Maybe starting to try and find some acceptance here. Needs a good close above it. I'm in a small, tiny starter on here. Tiny starter. It's not what I want to see happen, but I don't want to completely miss it. Don't mind taking a BE here either. Flow zones might start to curl. I'm just looking, I really wanted, here we go, into VWAP. I really wanted this to trade into VWAP, but I'm having to join some of this into VWAP. Here we go. So it looks like it's going to pop those stops now above, like we talked about. Looks good here. SPY finally getting some acceptance. How we go above these stops will be key, all right? Because we would need acceptance above this for a trade much higher. Otherwise, this can be the place where bulls come in late and then they get stopped out, all right? If it trades above these stops and turns straight back around, it's a problem for the market. So taking partial into this VWAP, we know that there are stops above here. How we operate above here is key. Okay, so we can take the stops. We can... We can take the stops and fade all the way back down. Remember, this is our VWAP. This is the trade, IB low to VWAP. We talk about it every day. If it protects them, I can't see it protecting this, but it is what NQ's done recently. If it takes them and starts to build and hold, there is relief all the way back up to here to IB high, remember. But hopefully you took that and took your position off into, or at least sold some, into that VWAP. So 2 for 2 now. I would love this to do a failed auction underneath the IBL. That's what I'd really love. We're starting to build liquidity. Think about how we're starting to build liquidity here. I would much rather it does it down here first, but market will do whatever the market wants to do. We keep getting acceptance on the SPY above that yearly low, it can drive higher. If it can't get acceptance, then we all know what happens. Back towards the lows. So far, it's got a 5-minute close inside. Has room to go back to its VWAP if it wants to do it. We're building that right shoulder liquidity here in the market on the Qs. Looking pretty good here, must say. Looking pretty good. I'd much rather the trade lower first, but doesn't always give me what I want. So I've got to trade what's in front of me. Looks like it's going to come up for these stops sooner rather than later. So the stop run will be into 55s. We have a seller, 70 lot at 250. Maybe one big pullback and then a hold would be nice. This H1 bar, we're coming back into where we closed the last H1 bar. So look at this. Big dip down, pin bar, trading back into here. If we close high, we've got a long time left, then it might offer that relief higher later in the day. So can we build liquidity out here for that drive higher? So far, selling versus New York VWAP. Green line, New York VWAP. Can we build liquidity out in here somewhere for a right shoulder to come and sweep these guys? Once we take these, I'm less interested in the long unless we can really start basing, right? Because the target is from IBL to VWAP and these guys in the stops. If we're going to do a failed auction, this is where I then become way more interested. Way more interested at that point. All right, I'm just going to get a refill in the coffee. I'll be right back. Yeah, right shoulder still building out. If you're like, why is he looking long? Why is he looking long? It's only looking counter trend long to then get short. Okay, I'm only thinking about that move higher to get short into. If we sweep these stops and we start rejecting into sort of 60s and stuff, then I think there's a good short setting up at that point. All right, where we broke down from this morning, basically. So I'm looking for the long to trade upside, or then to allow me a better price to get short. I want to come and sweep these stops out and get through that VWAP, and then we'll see what's what. So last dip held those flow zones, not flipped over yet, like we said. The better trade will be if it does a failed auction. That will be a really, really, really nice trade. If it comes underneath IBL, sweeps out all the daily levels, and then trades back inside the IBL, that would be a really nice trade. Yeah, I'd love more downside as well, Tyson. It's not that I don't want more downside. I would love more downside. I would love it to clear up these levels here. I'm just looking at what's in front of me right now. If we do this, then we can maybe do this, and then I'll think about a rotational kind of day if we do that. Remember, on the higher time frame, we are into weekly Bollinger Bands. This is majorly extended. Majorly extended. Doesn't mean we can't go lower like we always talk about. Doesn't mean we can't go lower. What's Bitcoin doing today? Down 3,500. Woof. I think it's in a major sell as well. Is the right shoulder forming then. So it's still no no close inside on a 5-minute bar of that yearly level on the SPY. Sorry, I'm talking about. You're thinking, what's he on about on the SPY? Is this what trading in a bear recession feels like? I mean, this is more fear than just like a drip down every day, right? Fear of the unknown, fear of what these tariffs are going to do to the economy. But yeah, I guess so. It's just we're in a bearish market right now. We're in a bearish market on the higher time frame. I think recession will be way worse than this. Like if we move into a bearish market on a weekly and a monthly, it's a whole different ball game. But we were due a big pullback. I've talked about it. I banged on about it for ages. I was expecting a pullback Q1 this year. All you had to do is look at the higher time frames. We were frothy. We were up way too high. Up on what? What were we up on? Up on the biggest debt we've ever been in. Up on 2 wars going on in the world. Up on, companies posting good earnings based on getting rid of costs by, not hiring and actually shrinking their domestic product. It's not a positive reason to be up, is it? And people seem to forget that. I'm not saying you, I'm just saying like the news, etc., seems to forget that. So this is the right shoulder being built here, like we talked about. Let's see what happens here. Still in this long, looking for a trade up through those stops if we can. All right, remember, this is the right shoulder being built right here. We're looking to take some profit into here, and then what happens after this? I'm taking all my profit off, and I'm going to wait and see. Here we go, team. So looking good. We would like to see a raid of these stops. I really want to see a raid of these stops up here. Yeah, exactly, Peter. Peter knows the score. Peter knows the score. We've got to take out stops before we do the next move. NQ recently has been doing my bloody head in, leaving stops in place. How many times? I think it was Thursday last week it left the H1. I think yesterday it left the H1 as well, or maybe the day before. I can't remember, but a few days in a row it keeps leaving the stops in. It's really bloody annoying. GB looking for a sell. I will be looking for a sell. I'd like one little push higher. I did just trim some into that last move because, like I said, NQ's had a habit of not taking the stops out recently. So I did just sell some into that move. I would love a sell if we can clear these lot out and then do this. And then I'll try and take a sell down to IBL and these daily levels. That's what I'd love. This drifts under here. I will just take the rest off, I think. I'd love this move up here. If we start reclaiming up here, I'm not really looking for a sell, I'm going to be honest. If we start reclaiming PDL and New York, and then if we start getting through here and gap fill, and we've got clear targets. Where's previous week low? I was going to say, where's my previous week low? Couldn't see it for a second. So all these are up here. Maybe we leave those for later in the week. Very, very possible. I might even take this break even here, or I'll move my stop up to BE just in case. Don't want to give anything back today. What is the previous day low that you're referring to? This one right here. Go back to yesterday. That was our low. That move that we did into, what's that, 345 or something? That low right there, Narek. That's previous day low. So you've got shorts, swing shorts, breakout shorts, short versus that. Reclaim inside that, breakout shorts, get trapped. That offers a squeeze up to previous week low. Reclaim previous week low, shorts versus previous week low, offer a squeeze up to next level. Remember, gap fill is right here. Yellow line is previous week low, and then offers a squeeze up. Once we get what I would really like, it doesn't have to happen today, it can happen next week. Once we get up here, I'm looking for that sell all the way back down. But your daily levels, previous day low, previous week low, previous day high, previous week high, they matter. Same with the closes. Still building out the liquidity here. This is looking very good here. Look at this. Hello. Hello. What are we trying to do? Run these stops. That's what we want to do. We're trying to run those stops. Average price of seller in the New York session is this blue line. All right. If you're fearful like me, you can always take a little bit off like I did on that last little push. No worries, Narek. Mr. Slim took the counter trend long. Peter, too many times to remember. Oh, not taking the stops out like we talked about. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? NQ never normally like that, but just so much weakness that has left them in place. Big pun, that's a great point. Increasing profits from cutting expenses is good, but eventually you have no more costs to cut and you have to increase revenue. That's it. Productivity. You want productivity going up with increased investment into R&D, with increased payrolls, all these things. You want to be employing more people, investing into R&D, productivity going up. Here we go. Here's the stop run team. So make sure you're taking some profits in here. 2 for 2 on the day. Let's go. Bang. Absolute banger. Fire in the stream. Fire in the stream. Make sure you're locking some in here. Make sure you're locking in here. How many people got short in the hole down here into this blue box, the daily level, and then we waited and we took that pivot. Bang. Counter trend. We take our money. And now we wait for the next one. So smash me with those W's in chat. You should be 2 for 2. No reason not to be 2 for 2 in stream today. Smash me with those W's in chat if you caught anything with me this morning. 125 of you watching. Hopefully you all made some money. There's the stop run. And once we get the stop run, this is what can happen. See, so now we've run the stops. Now we can wait and see. Because lots of people, we were smart getting long here for this move up, getting long in this balance for this move up. Lots of people just bought long here and they might get punished, right? Because they are what? They are breakout longs in the market. Do we want to be a breakout player? No, we do not. We do not play breakouts in a market, especially counter trend breakouts. You are asking to get slapped. Mr. Slim with the win, Thumper with the win, Array with the win, Big Pun with the win, Peter with the win, Jeff, Tim J, Capt, Michael Pope. ES didn't get there. Let's have a look. Yeah, well, ES ran the first level. We got very close to that second level, but I can see what you're talking about. ES didn't get there. RSG got some. So you bracketed your position and set a TP. Yeah, everything I play is always a bracket. I go over it in the course. I always play a bracket. It doesn't matter if I mark it in, limit in, I always have a bracket. And that bracket automatically sets my stop loss in case I get caught in some news candle or something, and it sets my TP, and then I can move that bracket order to where I want. Omalabi with the win. Aaron with the win. Back to even after picking bottoms. Hey, stop picking bottoms. Stop picking bottoms. Now we just wait, all right? We're going back into a range a little bit here, all right? Market's making decision. All right, we have daily levels. I'd love to see it take these out. Like I said, I would love to see it do this, but it's so far, it's unwilling. It's holding the daily level. What is the daily level? Let's have a look at the daily chart, and you can think, like, what is this guy on about? These lows here. So far, we are protecting these lows here, all right? What I would say, again, we have daily levels, sorry, that was weekly. We have a bit of divergence when we're looking at these levels versus the ETFs, but these are the levels we're protecting right now. Early November. We fell early November, we come back down to early October. We fell that, you are 6 months in the hole if you're a buyer. Think about that. If we fail these levels, the last 6 months of buyers are in the hole. This guy right here is big. What do we have here? RBS. Resistance became support, Caused the drive up. This is a back test of this level if we get anywhere near down there. All right, these are big levels. This has been a waterfall. We are due a bounce at some point. All right, don't get short in the hole. Please don't get short in the hole. Understand where you are on the higher time frame. RSG passed 3 evals today. Boom. High five, my friend. I love it. Saradi, I'm in Tradeovate. It doesn't allow bracket order in group copy trade. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know, actually. Maybe someone else can help you there, Saradi. I execute in Ninja. Ninja does allow bracket trade, and you can trade your Tradeovate account on Ninja. So maybe think about doing that. If you have the computer and the CPU power, maybe think about doing that because it's not a web-based browser. So maybe think about using NinjaTrader. You can NinjaTrader now owns TraderVate, or the other way around. No, NinjaTrader owns TraderVate. So you can trade directly in NinjaTrader with your TraderVate. You can log in on Ninja with TraderVate, and then you can use bracket orders on everything. But you won't be able to do it on, although I think they started web-based. Maybe that's why they bought TraderVate. I know they've got mobile that's just launched. But yeah, you will need a PC, and you would need some decent CPU. Doesn't need to be crazy high, but a decent PC, half decent PC for NinjaTrader, and then you can trade everything together. It's still building out the liquidity here. What I would say, SPY is still rejecting previous year low. Previous year low. I'm going to show you what I mean, just so you understand. Let's go to the SPY. Remember, I'm looking at the ETFs because they're showing me true price, right? Because there's no rollover in the ETFs. So here is your previous year low. Right, this is your low of year, Jan 13th. Remember, all of this is before Jan. Jan 13th, that's our yearly low. Today, we drop down, failed yearly low. So we keep back testing this and keep failing. If we keep failing this, we can keep trading lower. If we start reclaiming yearly low, we start reclaiming this, doesn't have to be today, it can be tomorrow. We have a gap fill potential here, right? So we can trade back upside, fill that gap. Maybe we find resistance there, come back down, double bottom. Maybe we find relief. Maybe we just continue lower, break a structure, and we aim for next pools of liquidity. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. All right, what I don't want to be doing is getting short down here. So the reason I keep looking at the ETFs is, like I keep saying, if you're just joining, is because we don't have to include rollover. Right, yearly low on the Qs was all the way up here. All right, we already broke that yesterday. We already broke it. So a back test of 500 on the QQQ would be important if you're looking at the QQQ. So it's a good tip for you all of you trading futures. When we get into all of this territory, we're including rollovers. So all of this data isn't always exactly correct because it's including a rollover. So it can have a bit of discrepancy on it, which is why at that point I start looking at the ETFs a little bit more. We're in a 15-minute fair value gap. What, that last drive up? Not really. I mean, there's a teeny. Or are you looking further left, you're meaning? I'm not really interested in looking at 15-minute fair value gaps in October. I honestly don't really care. If I'm looking back to October, I'm looking at daily, hourly, 4-hour levels, weekly levels. Not going to look at lower time frame in October, especially on a chart which is going to be skewed. Unless you're talking about this drive up here. But there's nothing else on a 15-minute right now. Or are you talking about this, trying to flip this? Is that what you're talking about? This guy right here. Remember, the higher time frame is still lower. Nice, Max. Yeah, you're on an absolute heater at the moment, Max. Remember, we're building lots of liquidity here. All the bulls who didn't sell here when we did, this is where their stops are. If we liquidate this, we can get a nasty little rundown. I'm going to remove this because we've taken these guys out. Bull stops now are at 71s. So tapping into them there. I'm letting this just build out liquidity now. Right, main trend is down. Again, I would way prefer us to come and take out low of day and then to take out the daily lows. Then we go from there. GB, I can see what you're talking about now. You're talking about inverting this. So there's your bearish move. You're talking about inverting this 15-minute. And then you'd need, if you're going to trade that way, you'd be looking for confirmation. So you'd be looking for like maybe another inversion or something that sets up here that we invert. We don't have one right now, but maybe this one right here, a reclaim of that. I can see what you're looking at. Just remember the main pull right now is to get down here and maybe to get down here. This is the big daily level down here. So I would be cautious. And ES and SPY keep rejecting those previous yearly lows we keep talking about. Main trend remains downside. We have built liquidity. We've just washed all these guys out. There's a pool of liquidity, pool of liquidity, pool of liquidity. This is all internal, external is down here. Once we took these guys out, the probable move is a sell back down to here, remember. VWAP, we went IB low, VWAP, should come back down into this pool here. You can protect your profits if you're in this short and then look for that new breakdown to take out the daily levels. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not in this short, but if you took that, that's what you could look for. No, GP, it's definitely not a bad entry model, but what I'd be looking for, if you're going to play that, inversion, which I understand, to give you context on what that entry model is, right? When you flip an inversion, it's basically saying that shorts chased here, right? So you have shorts chased, bang, 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 right? What you're saying is their break-even point is in here because they got squeezed. Their break-even point is in here. You would need to see, rather than just dip by this in here, I think you'd be better off seeing some form of structure build in here if you're looking for that trade back upside. I assume you're looking for the trade back upside. So you'd want something like, let's say, a 1 minute inversion that you trade back through and hold, or a big engulfing candle here that leaves a gap that you trade back into and hold. Does that make sense? You need confirmation, because if you're just going to dip by this in a bearish market, you can easily just get slammed on. There's nothing to say this inversion needs to hold for upside. Remember, we've already taken the stops. Its main priority was to take these guys out. So low-hanging fruit has gone, right? So these dips in paid for this. This is kind of what we took here based on structure. At this point, low-hanging fruit's gone, these guys here. So you'd be dip buying this in a hope to trade higher when narrative right now is lower until that changes. Yeah? Entry model isn't bad. You can just add a confirmation factor on there. So if you're going to trade a 15-minute inversion, you need a lower time frame play to go with that. So like a 1 minute fair value gap, a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute inversion. Otherwise, you're going against the narrative of the market. Hopefully that makes sense there, buddy. Just, I would add a confirmation model in there for you. Maybe you could have, is there an inversion here? This is all a little tight here. Nothing in here really. Definitely not a bad entry model. Definitely not a bad entry model. Just add that lower time frame confirmation in. There are guys who trade like just that entry model. I would say like guys like Brian trades that. Lanto trades that. I don't know if he trades specifically 15, but I know he trades inversions. So there are guys that trade that, but I'm sure they will be adding lower time frame confirmation. Otherwise, you're trading in a very big range. That 15-minute range you're looking at is, that's a, or the 5-minute range. Even the 5-minute is 159, 130. Oh, that's not too bad on a 5, to be honest. Yeah, drifting lower here. Remember, main draw on liquidity right now, as we took these stops out, is the daily level down here. We can take these guys out and then fail the auction. We can trade upside. If we take these guys out and stay heavy, we might have a trend lower day. Hard to think about a trend lower day right now when we're at that lower Bollinger Band on the weekly, if I'm honest. Very hard to think about that. Let's have a quick look at the market. Apple, 0.41% up. Microsoft, 1% down. Amazon, 2.75% down. Google, 1/3% up. Meta, 4.13% down. Nvidia, 1.43% down. Tesla, 6.7% now. Julian. Careful, 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 my friend. Careful, my friend. We took the counter trend. We did take the long. We were long from here into this stop run, and then we sold. Now we're building liquidity, right? It's building liquidity now. Drawn liquidity right now for the daily traders is down here. They want to go from VWAP down here and sweep. If we get that counter trend, if too many shorts get stuck, there is a trade back up. Remember, so far we're getting stuck at this area here we broke down from. If we start reclaiming this and previous day low and you're open, we have that IB high and gap fill and previous week low up there. But right now, narrative remains lower. Higher time frame narrative remains lower. Look at the hourly charts. Look at the hourly charts. Is there any reason to think that we have to go upside right now other than some relief? Nothing yet. If it builds more liquidity out here, it is possible. Again, watching SPY, watching that yearly low. It's, for me, it's a key trigger. What do you mean, Mr. Slim? Oh, you mean with the tariffs? Yeah, I mean, no one can afford it as it is. No one can afford it as it is. It's not pretty, and I think what you're also going to experience in America is backlash from these countries. Yeah, I already saw yesterday the, I don't know what he was, mayor or governor, I'm not sure how it works in Canada, but the one from Toronto, Ontario, saying, well, we're going to cut off your energy supply. You take energy from us. And then he was encouraging the rest of Canada to do the same. So, you know, you're going to get a bit of this. Yeah. Oh, did Big Pun say that as well? Sorry, I missed that. Big Pun, if you already talked about that, my bad. Yeah. Lots of unknowns with this stuff. We haven't seen tariffs like this before. Well, not in modern day. Temu about to get expensive. Yeah. Shin, Temu, Alibaba, Wish. What are the other ones? DHgate. All gone. What makes me laugh is like a lot of it is a bit of a facade, I think. Nice, Peter. Good work. Yeah, you always get off around now, don't you? 11 o'clock in the market. 2 hours of trading for you, or 90 minutes. Good work, as always. Drift lower is possible here. Back into that IBL, right? SPY cannot reclaim anything. Cannot reclaim those previous yearly lows. We swept the stops on the NQ, but we are trading sideways-ish, but it wants to drift down into the IBL and those daily blocks that we talked about. Okay, so the aim right now, we've done the first move here to here. Second move should be here to here. And then if we get an auction, we should come and take out daily stops here. If we reclaim, that's your failed auction. If we stay heavy, there's your auction for the day. I would suspect failed auction if we do it, but it depends what fear comes into the market. Lovely GB. I was reading also where Norway isn't going to allow US ships to refuel at ports anymore. Is that right? No worries, Christy. Good work today. I didn't know that about Norway. Big pun. Wow. Yeah, you're going to get backlash. Like it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So that increases the unknown. We don't know how that affects the economy. We can't price things in that we don't know. And that becomes problematic. Bit of a battle here between lower time frame traders and higher time frame traders. Just staying out here. We're 2 for 2. We're staying out here. Just letting this market do what it wants right now. I'm not in a rush to trade this right now. Nothing like it. Even looking at the imbalances, looking at the actions, nothing here I really like. And these candles are not small. All right, these are not small moves. These will get you hurt if you're the wrong side of them. This is like yesterday. Remember yesterday, we built liquidity for ages and ages. Those in Discord yesterday, you would have seen some of you on stream. Where did I get off yesterday? I think before this move. Before this move, and then I can show you what I took yesterday. I ended up putting it in Let's see it. Sometimes you got to let the liquidity build and then join. Here we go. So yesterday, same thing. After the liquidity built, I have to pull this up a bit. After the liquidity built, started attacking short side on the failure above previous day high, added into it, covered some more, added some more, covered into IBL, right? You just got to be patient. And then towards the end of the day, I started adding more underneath IBL for that breakdown towards previous day low, right? Adding more. And then towards the end of the day, we're talking about buying the market back up for that little squeeze end of day. So now we're just being patient because right now in the market, we're in that liquidity building phase. 2 for 2. Some of you might even be 3 for 3. So just be patient right now. Don't get yourself caught. Wait for the next setup. Be a sniper, attack that setup, and then wait for the next one. The US is in Norway's water for their protection. For Norway's protection. I can't comment on that stuff. Don't know enough about it. TR, so you're not concerned about RR just getting the right side of momentum? Yeah, I'm always concerned about RR. Always, always. But that will come with being the right side of momentum. I would never take a negative RR trade. But like here and here, there's no negative RR for a move into here, if you think about this. Nice tight stops. If we're trading this imbalance down to here, up to here, and we're adding to a winner, even that, 4.5R. Even if you traded this pullback and you're going to risk this low into the stop run, 2.3R. I don't need to measure out my RR. I'm like, I can see it straight away whether it's worth it or not. Why am I not taking this now? We've taken the liquidity. Do I want to try and get long to here? My risk here would have to be all the way down here. I don't like that. So now I wait. My feeling is we should come and take out this low and take out these daily levels. That's my feeling right now. But I know shorts got trapped down here this morning. So I'm just going to wait and let this do its thing, or let it do its thing. Sit this part out. Totally, TR, yeah. And it can be hard to see it. Like, it's just, I don't need to measure it because I'm used to seeing it on the screens. And I'm like, yep, there's enough in that for me. Your actual trade earlier was which one, Julian? This one here. For a move up to these stops. Yeah, it made sense, right? We built this liquidity and we come and run these stops. And at that point, you risk off and we expect this to come back down because bulls now got trapped above here. And now we're probably going to sell down, take out the lows and move lower. This is what everything we've talked about on stream. Some of you are short in this, looking for this to attack the lows. So you look very, very, very good here to attack the lows. Very good. And you take those lows out, we go for daily lows if you do that. Yeah, very nice. Remember, this is where shorts got stuck earlier. Watching IBL here, watching a move towards the IBL, watching a move into those daily levels. There you go, just breaking down here. And it's looking for a trade. Remember, this is the daily pull down here. I think it was 10 or 12. This is your IBL. If we come down here and take this out, this is a probable move. This is what we talk about. After we take these out, we expect this move here. Then I'm going to look for this move or this move. But I don't like this move because we're extended at that point. In terms of weekly and daily structure, we're extended. So that would need mass fear. But I do think we're going to take out these daily levels. All right, we've gone over it many, many times. But in case you're joining late, we're looking at this pool of liquidity right here. We're looking to take out these stops. If we keep taking them out, we're going to keep washing. Main narrative on the day is lower prices. So the counter trend move was just to take out these stops and was to sell into, to come down to take these guys out. So this is intraday, taking out intraday players to come and take out external players, weekly, monthly, yearly players. But I have to be cautious here because we know this is where shorts got trapped earlier in the day. This is why we bid up from there. But my feeling is lower prices are still possible here, especially with the SPY unable to reclaim its yearly low or previous yearly low, or previous low on year. SPY wants the 200. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier in the day. 571.08, somewhere around there. Timbor, but good eyes. Hey, Jack, you are making me a happy man right now. So you left all the longs and you got short. That is you changing. That is you changing. Very, very good. Hopefully you got short somewhere up here. And now you're getting confluence for this trade down, hopefully. Hopefully you're short up here. Pay yourself a bit of money into this liquidity pool here. And then hopefully it just drops down for you and melts them all out. That would be ideal. I'd love you to win like that, and it would give you confidence then. So ES coming back into IBL here. You don't want to see a short squeeze here. You want to see this just stay heavy. We've got buyers on the tape at 20,050 and then 20,000 flat. Right, so you need this drive to be sold into. All right, like we said, we know shorts got trapped down here early. You have to be careful of this pool. Respect, when you look left, you have to be careful. So if you were short here, like I said, you should be able to pay yourself some and then hopefully wait for this move here. Any big reclaim here, I'd be very, very cautious. Then you're looking at that double bottom and a play above here. Really, you just want this to continue to sell downside. How long we got? We're in a new hourly bar here as well. So far, everything protecting IBL so far. Would love to see this just fail, but volume came in that last one. Kill volume down, volume back up, and reprice this kill volume. This is a big level here. Kill volume, volume. Look at lower day. Look at how we repriced it straight away. If we act like this, I'd be cautious. If we fail back down here, these guys get stuck. Again, I'm not playing this right now. I'm really I'm focused on hoping that we get this move here for me. So far, protecting that initial balance low. This new hourly candle is finding a drive back up towards previous hour close right now. Wow, that's got a habit of turning off recently. That's 2 days in a row. Yes, I do have a Discord, but it's for my students. All right, so it's only for people who've done the course. So if you do the course links down below, 20-hour course, you get my indicators, right? The Flow Zone suite and Discord included for free. I don't leave the Discord open. I shouldn't be muted now. You should be able to hear me. Maybe you're just a bit behind. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can see it. Yeah, okay. It was just delayed. I was going to say I could see it showing that I was playing. I don't know why it turns off. Loose wire somewhere. All right, so potential squeeze here. They held that low where shorts got trapped earlier. They traded back into it. How we operate here, back into top of the range here is important. Back towards this New York VWAP here. SPY, guess what SPY is coming back up towards? Coming back up towards that old yearly low. Mr. Slim just passed the 50K combine. I love it. Look at all you guys making money, passing. Absolutely amazing. So do they trigger a squeeze out here and go all the way back upside now? Because we failed to break the lows. Remember, shorts get stuck when we fail to break a low and they short too low in the day. Or do they reject this level? Big level on the SPY. Got a feeling like a squeeze is possible here, but it's weird because we already cleaned everything out. Leaving one side again, as always on NQ. Loves leaving liquidity at the moment. SP right back up to that key level yet again. I'm just letting this liquidity build. What is the New York VWAP? Yeah, it's anchored to the opening print. Yeah, so it's a VWAP anchored to the opening print. So that's giving you price of everyone who's participated since the 9:30 bell. All right, not before, not fixed to after, just from the 9:30 bell. So this right here is the average price of participants from the 9:30 bell. So currently sellers are in control. We get over that, we can open up and move higher, but currently sellers are in control at that level. Yes, again, SPY so far cannot get through the old yearly lows. All right, coming back up to it, failing again. Just inside range, chop, chop, chop. Chop, 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 chop. That's all it's doing. This is very much like yesterday. What we did yesterday, we did one of these for ages, and then we just went, just absolutely smoked downside. Maybe today would be different. We will see. All right, folks, I'm just going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Look at that. Absolutely nothing changed. Tariffs on imports, the Canadian PM just announced. I thought we already knew that, no? Or he's announced it on America, the other way around. Let's have a look. Oh, I see. Yeah, Trudeau. US tariffs, a very dumb thing to do, warns Canadians of tough times ahead, pledges more support for workers and businesses. We will take measures to prevent predatory behavior that threatens Canadian companies. Oof. Yeah. Trade wars well and truly underway, I think. Think about what we're building here. Something like this right now. And get a parallel channel, maybe. Something like that. We'll find ways to cooperate with Mexico to find a deal with tariffs. This is all from Canada that I'm reading. They're just trading flat inside this range right now. Nothing to do right now. Rejected. New York VWAP yet again. If we get over that, it opens up potential squeeze. Right, if we're going to protect the IBL, opens up potential squeeze. Again, I would much rather that IBL gets run and we take out daily liquidity before we think about anything higher. But it is what it is. There's a lot of volume being built up down here right now. All right, point of control right now on the day is down here. Most volume has been executed. It's actually here where we are now in towards 80s. All right, so trades above that. You might see that squeeze through or attempt of a squeeze through VWAP. What was it like trading when Trump was last in? It's a very different market to now because we were printing money. Yeah, so we were recovering from COVID and we were starting to print money. So it's mainly, I remember the backside of that was just like everyday bull. Very, very different market to now, but it was very, very twitchy dependent on what he was saying. So like the market was waiting constantly. Anything he said, unprecedented things said again, like always, and we would move on it violently. Why did that announcement? Why would that announcement make it dump, Tyson? Why would it make it dump? We don't have to dump. We're down very, very low on the daily and the weeklies. Like we said, so far we're protecting this. We're protecting this. It might want to come down and do this, but news won't make it do that. We already know that there's going to be, trade wars. We're very, very aware of that. Currently, lower time frame shorts are stuck in this market down here, I would say. Until they get taken out, we can't roll. And even when they do, I'm looking for this play, ideally, unless something majorly changes. I don't, but I have like an alert set on his Twitter because he has it set now so that whenever he posts on Truth, it comes over to Twitter. But I try it I just try not to pay too much attention to it. I just try it and trade the technicals. And what's hard is when things like yesterday, when he's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to do a press conference at what did he say yesterday? 1:30, and then 20 minutes later he starts talking." It's like, don't just wait for the press conference. Just wait. That's what the market finds annoying. It's not what he says necessarily. It's that you're constantly on edge because you don't know when he's going to say something next. It's going back down towards the bottom of this flag or bear flag, giant bear flag right now. Just back and forth and back and forth. This is just building liquidity right now. just within this, you could say there's this. Nothing to do here, though. Not interested in trading this. Really not interested in trading this right now. No worries, Miguel. Good work today. Catch you later. We'll have a catch up later. No worries. Activate you. I feel like you only come in here to tell me when you're down. I never see you in here other than saying things like you're saying now. If you're down on 20 PAs that much, I don't know what size PAs those are and how that works with your risk management. You need to be very careful with your sizing in this market. Well, that's way too much to be risking on a 50K, isn't it? That's way, 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 way too much. Still in the sell of 60 points. Still in the sell. Oh, GB, you're still in a sell up 60 points, I'm guessing you're saying. It just feels like that bouncing ball sort of drifting lower. Well, do you have a defined strategy that you're sticking to? Like, why did you lose today? Why did you risk, 2/3 of your account today? You need to look at the whys. Right? You need to look at the whys. What are you doing? What is it that's causing this loss? If you don't have a defined strategy and you're just clicking buttons, it might be that. If you're oversized, it can be that. If you're moving your stop, it can be that. Lots of reasons, but you need to look at the whys. Just trading sideways here. Market trading sideways. Ugh. The thing is, Activate, is you're blaming price action. Not trying to make you feel bad, but you need to have a look at yourself. If you got chopped up in that, that's your fault. It is your fault, and you need to take responsibility. Just like if I get chopped up on it, it's my fault. Yeah, so I'm not trying to pick on you, not trying to make you feel bad, but as traders, we have to take responsibility. If the market and price action is crap, but you've traded it, then you have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself and think, well, clearly I don't have a defined strategy. Clearly I'm not able to define the reasons of when I get in and why I get in. Clearly I'm unable to manage my risk properly. We have to look at ourselves, all right? We have to look at ourselves. I'm not saying that to try and make you feel uncomfortable or anything like that, but it's what will change you as a trader is your ability to do that. Starting to break down here, starting to look like it might want to go to that IBL here. That's fine, Gary. Yeah, I mean, what you've just said there is really good trading, isn't it? I can't trade this. I've locked myself out till tomorrow. Amazing. That's amazing that you understand that. Here we go. So it looks like we're going towards that IBL here. Oh, or not. News? Was that news? That's hilarious. Whoa, that's got to be news. That's got to be news. That was so quick. Let's have a little look. Wow, 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 wow. I haven't seen anything hit the blotter, but that was a big old wick and go there, very, very quick. I would bet something's changed there. I'd bet something's been said. Look at that protection of IBL on ES. Wow. Right back to the upside. Can't see anything. Cannot see anything. Catch up with chat here. Yeah, size down. People saying size down. Exactly. Use micros, especially on the 50K accounts. Don't put a time limit on payout. Another good piece of advice there from Mr. Slim. Exactly. Saradi saying, watch the ATR. Size accordingly. Have I ever seen such volatility? Yeah, I think definitely. Definitely. We often have volatility like this. There you go. Tyson saying, never use minis on a 50K account. Do I think you can fix it with the 830 drawdown left? Absolutely. If you've got a proven strategy, you can change that and fix that, but you're gonna have to take your time. Don't try and make it all back in one day. Slowly, base hits, right? Base hits, $200 a day. Do that for 10 days. You're in the money, right? Base hits. ES broke IBL. I don't have it breaking IBL, Derek. It came down towards it. It definitely didn't trade underneath it. Definitely didn't trade underneath that IBL. I don't see any news hitting the wire though, which is a bit weird here. That felt like a news candle the way that moved. Maybe it was just someone covering, someone getting stuck. Who knows? Upside we go then, maybe. Do we go all the way back upside now? Or is this a fake out and then we go all the way back downside underneath the IBL? I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to get trapped in this stuff. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. $200 a day with micros. Are you kidding me? One micro, 100 points. You've got 350 points in front of you on the initial balance. One micro, 200 points, $200. Yes. Yes. Easy. Absolutely easy. Easy, easy, easy. You're fixed on making too much money. You're watching the influencers bank all this money that might not even be real, and you're fixed on it. You don't need to. Your job is to manage your risk. That's your job. Focus on managing your risk. Worry about the profits afterwards. Focus on sticking to your process. Do you have a winning trade strategy? Do you know when to trade and when not to trade? Sounds like that's one of your issues because you're saying that the market's ass. That means that you were unable to identify when it went into a choppy market and you got caught. Yeah. no, 100 points, right? 100 points, not 200 points. Let's say short here, what is this? 308. This is, okay, we only need to get to 208. In 1 minute, this right here, with one micro, gave you $200. Times by 20 accounts, that's $4 grand. That's all you needed. That's all you needed, 100 points. Yeah, we're building a wedge here, but I'm not touching any of it. I'm not interested in this. This is what is trapping. I want a sweep and a go, or a drive above and a push, or a drive above and a fail. I'm not interested in trading this. Why would you want to trade this? Look at the flow zones going sideways. Everything's starting to go sideways. We can wait for momentum to join the market. We've left liquidity. So far, we're protecting IBL, but we know there is a daily pull right down here. Daily stops are right down here. Can be patient. Be a sniper in the market. You have to. Exactly. If you're not outside, then you're inside. Google trying to get going a little bit here by the looks of it. Take care, Jack. Great work today, Jack. Like, honestly, mate, I'm really, really, really happy to see that you changed your bias. You stopped picking bottoms. Here we go. Here's a little bit of a squeeze. Stop picking bottoms. It makes me so happy, buddy, honestly. Really, really well done. The slaughterhouse, what if you're caught inside the range? Yeah, I mean, it's its job, right? We used this, right? Here was a small low hanging fruit to here. We took this long, we got it, we sold, we got out. Then it should have, at this point, come down and taken this out. It didn't. It protected here because too many shorts are caught in here. Came down, bid up. Came down, bid up. Maybe we go and run higher now. I don't know. I frankly don't care. Like, it can do whatever it wants here. I want to wait for a high probability setup to be coming into this. Right now, looking at the hourly, looking at what we're doing, there's nothing I love. Look at the hourly chart. Most of volume here on the day. No big imbalances other than this one here, which we've already gone through. It's just drip, drip, drip. And we've left that daily pool of liquidity. Don't like it. Don't like when we're leaving that. Yeah, don't diddle in the middle. Exactly, big pun. Yeah, I mean, back in those days, you're probably looking at what, like, I don't know about NQ, but ES are probably lucky to get 5-10 points sometimes, but much smaller ranges. I think those days are gone. I think the zero, like, expiry, same day expiries, like, completely changed that whole thing, you know? Back towards the top of the wedge. Is it going to go back towards the bottom of the wedge? Probably. What are you doing, market? No one knows. Everything trading sideways. So top of the range, we went bottom of the range, top of the range. So far, I guess, what should we do it here? Failures outside of here, and we can say failures outside of here. All right, so the range is really this right now until it makes a decision. Still a buyer down at 20,000 even. No one else really down there on the tape anymore. Sell it up at 20,300. Google almost 1% up now. So Google finding a bit of a bid here. Apple 0.40% up almost, or 0.35 now. Microsoft still 0.81% down. Amazon still 2.42% down. Meta 4.51% down. Nvidia just under 1% down. And Tesla 6.5% down. All right. So mixed bag in the market. Yes, sir. Back in the day, you could do, sorry, I was texting my family that you could do a P8 account with 5K only minis. And for me, only looking to get 5 points a day. Yeah. Very common, especially on the ES. What are we doing here? Are we going to go and clean up the upside? Who knows? I'm in the same situation. Activate. Worked on the second payout with 10 Apex accounts and went right into a losing streak. I know NQ just wants me to go on tilt and then blow on the accounts. Just size down, size down. Just take your time. Right, this is not an easy market, right? So if you're struggling in this market, size down or leave it alone. You've worked really hard to get those PA accounts. Wait for the market to give you something that fits your parameters of where you feel comfortable to trade. Does that make sense? You've got to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. If you're a trend trader, you need to be sticking to those trends. If you're a reversal trader, you need to be sticking to those areas of reversal that you like. If you're a pullback trader, you need to be sticking to those. You need a market, you need the conditions that suits your style of trading. And you need to understand when to execute and when to leave it alone. If it's not offering you something to execute, leave it alone. Don't force your way in. No reason to force your way into markets. Watching SPY again as it starts to drive back up towards 575.30. That's the big level, right? It's the old yearly low. I don't know if any of you have read things like, here we go, squeezing now, trying to clean up these levels through the VWAP for the first time today. Does it close high though? That's the thing. Watching the H1 here. Old H1 high in transition is 265. ES coming all the way back up to the yearly low. So do they sell the top of this range again? If any of you have read things like Market Wizards, all right, the best traders, I know it's different because you're playing, prop firm accounts and you need to trade sort of more frequently and things like this. But the best traders are executing big trades a few times a year when the conditions suit them. Yeah, when the conditions suit them. They're not executing every day. You do this job for freedom, right? Let's say you have a day where you bank, let's say you got 20 accounts and you bank like $1,000 or $2,000 on each of those accounts. You have a big day. And then the next day comes to market and it's choppy. Why are you trying to trade that? Why are you trying to trade that? If the day before you made $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, why are you trying to trade the day where the conditions are crap? Yeah? You would have seen me yesterday, on stream yesterday. I sat out for ages and ages and ages when it chopped. And I just showed you once it finished chopping in the Discord, I slammed the short and ran it all the way down once it had finished. Once the conditions met my parameter. What were those conditions? Yesterday, it had to sweep. I needed everyone to get stuck above the previous day high. I think it was yesterday. I'm going to have to remind myself. Here, all this crap. I sat out of all this crap. And once it swept this liquidity above previous day high, failed my lower time frame algo, created this bear flag. I was like, I'm getting short, I'm adding short, I'm covering some, I'm adding some, and then I covered low of day. Okay, I missed the next leg down, but I got a beautiful move by staying out of this crap. Yeah, because I know, when do I trade best? When my flow zones are in line telling me, hey, get short, here's your sell, get short, here's your long, counter trend long, right? What are we doing right now? Big sell this morning, pre-market. Not a bad sell, but a little bit choppy in here, but good sell back down. Now, maybe signaling a buy back up to VWAP and previous day low, but I wouldn't call this a really nice solid trend. We're not seeing flow zones holding positions, holding price, looking for big moves right now. So I'm waiting because I know what I'm good at trading. We're middle of the range right now. Guess what? SPY is back to that key level again, right? The old yearly lows. That's exactly where the SPY is. It is a big, big, big level. I did the same thing for 2 years. I blew 600 accounts and evals before I found Alex and I got myself straightened out. Yeah, me and Tyson have worked together a little bit now and he has definitely turned it around. Too easy to click buttons. That's the one thing with trading the way we do. It's way too easy to click buttons. You've got to learn the discipline not to do it. I need to learn how to read charts, how Flowzone presents them, and I'll get better at trading futures. It will come. It will just all start to dial together. Take your time. So ES, SPY back at that key level. NQQQQ through VWAP. SPY's got to get to VWAP through still. Sorry, it's not through it. It's got to get there still. And we're back at that yearly low on the SPY. All right, so we're top of this range. We broke out. We're top of the range now. We've cleaned out this liquidity. Where did we fail from earlier? This pool here. So this is where sellers were earlier, sold us down. We're back testing where those sellers were earlier. If we reclaim this, maybe there's a squeeze. Do I want to get long into where these sellers are? No. No, because this is a back test. This is where shorts can easily come in. Right, think about how we build. Leg, leg, leg. Can easily happen. When does that change? Above here, build liquidity. Then what do we have? Use this liquidity to go higher at that point. Are we in a day where we're expecting the market to move much higher? Not really. Not really right now, are we? We're in a sell. So it's got to prove itself for me. If I don't take another trade today, is that a problem? No, it's not a problem. Come back tomorrow. If tomorrow's going to be a reversal day, we can pick up a reversal to go long. If tomorrow's going to be a sell day, we can pick up that sell. If tomorrow's going to be a crap day, we can leave it alone. We can leave it alone. Aaron says, I'm getting my wife to work with me. We become better accountability partners. Yeah, totally. Totally. Maybe some of you saw my lesson I posted for free at the weekend on YouTube. We talk about trading with a team, find a buddy, all right? Talk to them about it. Admit your flaws. Admit the things you do wrong. The quicker you can admit what you do wrong, the better. If you catch yourself saying things like, it's the market's fault, they're running for my stops, I don't know, like it's someone else's fault. If you lie to yourself saying, hey, it was an accident, any of these things, no, not going to help you. It's your fault. It's always your fault. You're the one that clicks the buttons. It's your fault. You decide whether you get in and out of a trade. The quicker you can fix that and just have some self-reflection, you've got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, that was my fault. I'm going to get better. It's okay to be wrong. We're humans. We're going to do things wrong. Jesus, I do things wrong all the time. Not just in trading, just in life. The quicker you can admit it, the quicker you can improve. If you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and it's not giving you the results, that, my friends, is the definition of insanity. Right? Don't lie to yourself. Try and be honest with yourself. Try and be honest with your partner, trading buddy, in the room, in Discord, any of these things. Try and be honest. It will really help you, I promise you. That goes for anything in life. That goes far beyond trading. Far beyond trading. Right? If you've got issues in your life and you're not dealing with them, that's normal. Right? I've been there. I've done that. I've gone through the process. I've had to seek help. Literally, I had to seek a lot of help to fix parts of my life around which were probably stopping me trading well. All right, I had issues from childhood, issues growing up. people that I still had issues with, a reason why I have an ego that I needed to prove to myself, hey, I can do this alone. I'm going to do this without everyone. All these things. What did that mean? Oversized. Couldn't admit when I was wrong. You know, too fixed on my position. You've got to change these issues. Here we go. So while I'm talking, what do we talk about? New York VWAP to VWAP. So there you go. Coming to the top of this range. This is where the sellers were this morning. All right. So there's your squeeze. At this point, do they sell this all the way back down, or do we create a bigger pool of liquidity up here to trade upside? We're still trying to find acceptance in the SPY above previous yearly lows. That's what we're trying to do right now. It's trying to find acceptance. Take care, BU. Take care. I hope you had a good day. I hope you all had a good day. Yeah, I don't want you to think I'm ranting, team. I really want you all to do well, and I need you to understand it goes beyond trading. It really goes beyond trading. You've got to be able to look at yourself. All right, so this is our RBS level that we're starting to break out from. It's going to go now. Got two caught talking to get in. All the way to VWAP. Here's VWAP. All the way to VWAP. Where did we say we had a seller at 300? He just got filled. All right, there was a big lot up there, dragging the market higher. So SPY to its VWAP right now, tagging VWAP. ES not there yet. Back inside of an old gap on the QQQ. Rotation off that low. Saradi. I really don't know. Whenever there's normal sales, I'll do a sale, but I'm not going to do a sale for the sake of it. I'm really sorry, my friend. But I will. There will be a sale. Maybe where are we now? Maybe an Easter sale, something like that. Maybe I'll do an Easter sale. Sorry, team, just catching up with some friends here. But I promise you, Sraddy, I will do a sale in the next month, probably an Easter sale. It's time you won't miss it. Okay, so back testing that RBS. This is your RBS. Remember, resistance, 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 support. If it back tests this, if we build liquidity up here, we can go upside. You are in a counter trend squeeze right now. Remember, all longs today are counter trend squeezes. They are nothing more than that. They are not pro trend longs. Market is trying to find bids. Nvidia getting close to its previous day close price. Market is trying to find a squeeze here. All the way back up to previous day low here. If we get acceptance above this, SPY now at its VWAP right here, right now. So in alignment with the QQQ. If we get acceptance above it, we can think about that squeeze all the way up, down, all the way up to previous week lows. Flow zone starting to expand here a little bit. We're into lunch though. We're into lunch. This is where we found sellers earlier. This is previous day low now. Big, big, big levels here. This is a big old squeeze as well. A tariff sale. Maybe I'll charge a tariff on you guys. You have to pay 25% extra if you're from Canada. No, I'm joking. Would never do that. Oh, I'd never do that because I'm a nice person. I'm not going to punish my neighbors. ES has now cleaned out those stops. SPY is at VWAP. NQ is at previous day low. and the lower time frame algorithm and VWAP and towards the top of this range. Remember, we got the top of this sort of range here. All right, so we're in a big channel so far. If you get failures here, all right, if you get failures here and we come back down into this, we will use this liquidity later in the day to go lower, all right, and clean these guys up. We've got 5 minutes till lunch. That's what I'd be looking at. That or acceptance above. Definitely a little bit messy. You'd want to see a proper back test of sort of 30, 35, something like that. It did do it on that last candle wick, but you'd want to see it on like a 5 minute or 15 minute. Definitely on a 5 minute. You want a decent pullback here. And want to see if that holds. You want to see if SPY can pull back to its previous yearly lows and see if it wants to hold. That would be very nice if it would do something like that. Just in straight squeeze mode here. Hard to get involved. I took the 242 pullback. 242. Oh, it's 242. I don't see it. Somewhere here, I'm guessing. Or here. Nice. Nice, yeah. Building the RBS, little flag and go. It's very nice. Makes sense, doesn't it? Over New York into standard VWAP. Previous day low now. I don't want to chase this up here. Had a decent day. Starting to get acceptance though. SPY through its VWAP now. And you've got 3.5 minutes left until we get that new hourly bar, new 5 minute, new 15 minute, new 30 minute into lunch. But if we get through here, IB high is not out the question. If they start buying back this market, it's not totally out the question today, team. All right, it's not totally out the question. Does large orders at ES at 5,730 mean anything to you? 5,730. Well, they're just large bids looking to get filled down there in a daily pool of liquidity. But they haven't been filled. If they've been passive on the book all day, they're just sat there waiting to get filled, hoping they get filled. That's all it would mean to me right now. They're not walking it up. They're not buyers in a rush to get filled. They're just protecting a level. They could even be short sellers looking to cover at a key level. Yeah, they were probably looking for that wash underneath IBL into the daily level to get filled, and then they never got it. The day's young though. They might still get it. They might still get it. Starting to try and reclaim previous day low. Yes, not to VWAP yet. You are almost at lunch. There's been no real pullbacks here to buy unless you got nice and early. We're in straight squeeze mode right now. All these shorts are getting absolutely cooked. All right, so shorts who got trapped at the lows are getting cooked. I missed it when I was doing that little speech for you all. All right, this down here, failure to move down. This was its chance to move lower and it didn't do it. And then we've just traded upside ever since. So they got cooked here, shorts. But we're into big levels here. I'm not interested in initiating a long here. I'm going to have to wait now, probably the remainder of the day. See if it can build out liquidity up here for this move. Otherwise, it can rotate back down. This is a big level for the remainder of the day. Sort of 230s, I would say. Giving you this now because I'm going to get off the screen shortly as we get into lunch. Here we go, top of the channel. You can see this channel. Traded all the way from the bottom, all the way to the top, finding some resistance up there. Lots of levels of confluence. Channel, VWAP, algorithm, New York Open. Everything up there. So big odd squeeze out, lack of structure really on the way up. That was very, very quick. Look at a 5-minute bar, pretty much straight up, same as a 15-minute bar. And we see what it does now into lunch. All right, team. So hopefully you all had a good day today. We caught some nice moves together. I will be back same time tomorrow. Don't forget, if you're interested in starting your journey into the prop firm world, Apex still has an 80% sale on. You can use code FCT, as does Tradeify, has a 30% sale on, and 35% for all of the 50K accounts. I'll be back tomorrow, pre-market. If you're interested, you can do the course down below. You know the score by now, and be safe. Use hard stops. You don't know when news is just going to hit the market. Use hard stops, and be kind to each other. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Pre-market, we'll go over everything again. Everyone else, see you in Discord later. Peace and love.